What's going on, guys? We're back with some more original content. We got a double One Piece upload today. Today we're going to be covering the newest chapter. A little early. They usually drop on Sundays, but we're early over here. We all love reading our scriptures. Um, I'm here with Riddell. We both just read the chapter, and we're going to give you our first impressions and what we think about what happened in this week's chapter. Riddell, you want to kick it off, or you want me to go?
Um, well, I think we could start off with the cover page, right? I think
Hmm.
something we've been saying for a while now is that there has been a story going on this cover page with someone's like making trouble in Wano, and now in the cover page they noted that someone stole the katana. So it sounds like it's a very important one of the very important swords. Um, could it be? It could be the one that Luffy probably didn't bring with him. So, hey man, curious to see where this kind of goes, and maybe this could be the catalyst of both Yamato and maybe Momonosuke, but more so Yamato entering back into the story. Who knows?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Oda's really brilliant about having his own little separate story told in the covers. Because we get to see a lot of Yamato, a lot of Oitama, some of those characters from Wano that we felt like we might not have gotten enough information from. I wonder who took the sword. I wonder who's causing this trouble after they were just freed. They just got some fresh water. Who would possibly trying to use this moment of peace to try to stir up some trouble? And why would they want to pick a fight with Kaido's daughter of all people? Um, but yeah, interesting to see. I'm sure the culprit's going to be found and dealt swift justice, and hopefully it's not too important.
All right, man. We'll see. We shall. We shall see. But yeah, what's the first important thing we got on the docket? What really stood out in this chapter to you?
Hmm. A lot of I said Oki. A lot of Loki's upbringing. We see the living in the wilderness, even though he's chained up. Uh, the monstrous beasts that at one point were intimidating to him that are now his friends. It very much seems like a lot of his path is similar to Luffy's, even down to him proclaiming that he's the sun god. That Oda's intentionally drawing a lot of parallels between him and Luffy. I'm desperate to kind of see, how far that goes. Loki's 100% a bad guy, though. He definitely has an ulterior motive, and he's trying to play to Luffy's more caring, heroic side to get himself freed. And he's willing to kind of bargain anything to be free. He offered to annihilate a pirate crew, which Luffy doesn't really need help doing, right?
Yeah.
He offered he implied that if Luffy wanted the information as to why Shanks was on Elbaf, it would come at a cost. That cost, I'm assuming, is Loki's freedom. He wants to be freed bad. I think he's trying a little bit too hard here because I don't know about you, Riddell. Luffy's 100% gonna free this guy. He is. He
Yeah.
it's just in Luffy's nature. He is gonna free him. What's gonna be the price though? That's what I wonder. What you thinking?
Yeah, I'm with you. Loki is a very interesting character, considering the Giants changed him up. He's the worst criminal in Albaf.
Hmm.
The Marines felt it necessary to put a 2.6 billion berry bounty on him,
Hmm.
and Shank showed up, and it's you can kind of insinuate they didn't get along, and Shanks had no interest in freeing him, and there's a reason why he called him a coward in the first place. So everybody thinks this guy sucks. So I don't know how he's gonna be there. I don't know what you're gonna do with this character. He seems like an outlier towards the One Piece world right now. And the fact that he's chained up with Sea Prism Stone tells me whatever devil fruit this giant has is gonna be broken.
It also adds to why Big Mom was so desperate for Lola to marry this guy. Um, whoever he is, whatever he can do, she felt like with that marriage, she'd be able to take over the entire world. Um, he's gonna be something to see. I'm sure he's gonna be one of the deadliest foes yet. Because Big Mom was thirsty for that marriage. She disowned her own daughter because she didn't go through with it. She was mad. So Loki might have a lot of tricks up in the bag.
Yeah, it's interesting throwing out such a big character when you already have to deal with the world government, the elders, now like the what is it called, Royal Knights, something
Yeah,
like that. Royal Knights with Garland, and you have to deal with Blackbeard and his crew. And now we got Loki. Like this is not going to smooth sailings to do whatever they got to deal with. So, hey man, I'm locked in. Loki's already moving me. He's already
he's
moving.
moving me too. The little yell he did resonating throughout the entirety of that forest. Everybody being able to hear it. I'm not sure if that was like a hint at him having some conquerors. I personally think he might have it. I think we need to have a giant that has conquerors hockey. I think it makes sense in the story. And then you brought up the Marines giving him a bounty. What the fuck could he have done? Because Elbaf is kind of like Wano, where it's closed off from the world. What could he have done that it caught wind of the government to where they were like, yeah, this guy needs to be on our radar in some regard?
Oh, that's the big question because different from like pirates get bounties, not only especially like leaders of crews, they get bounties because of how strong they are, obviously, but also how dangerous their crew is.
Hmm.
Usually, the captain is going to get that huge bounty, usually because of how dangerous his crew, as big as crew is. That's why they're emperors, right? The only outlier are people like Luffy. Well, not anymore. Luffy has a fleet. Shanks actually is the only outlier that exists technically because all of his fleet was ass. so so it was just him and his crew. Luffy's fleet is not ass. They're actually really good.
They're
So
far from ass. Yeah.
facts. Um, so other than like Shanks and maybe Gold Roger, you have like all this influence, you know all these people, you have all these strong individuals. Loki as an individual with I'm guessing he doesn't have a crew or anything like that. He just got a 2.6 billion berry bounty. Not a pirate, doesn't go looking for the One Piece. I bet he doesn't try to antagonize the government like Dragon does. No, that's Aura. I'm not gonna
Chained
lie.
chained up man to a tree. 2.6. That's wild.
That is wild. Yeah, he definitely has some power that's gonna change the world. I'm with you for sure.
I believe so. Next on the docket, Saul is back, man. Is Saul the man with the burn scars that we've been waiting for so long? Is that who it's been?
Um, I guess you can get ice burns.
Maybe.
You can get ice burns. They do exist. I mean, like even though he doesn't seem like it, like when you put all the pieces together, he's a giant from Elbath. He's a D clan member, and he was part of the O'Hara incident. He's actually like in terms of everything that he's connected to, extremely important, and he probably knows something. He probably knows something. Maybe even read some of those books.
I don't think something, Riddell. I think he knows a lot. Throughout the course of this story, we've seen Luffy constantly be offered information, and he's kind of been like, I have a crew for that. I don't care. I have a crew for that. I don't care. They can learn. Robin knows. Whoever knows, this might be the first time that we might get an information dump where Luffy firsthand has to learn what's going on. Um, O'Hara was destroyed because they became very close to discovering the truth. Um, Obviously the Straw Hats they heard the broadcast on Egghead, but I think there's a whole lot of surrounding information that they don't know. They more so kind of got I want to call that the conclusion of the story. I feel like when all said and done, the world will flood. That's the conclusion. I think we're going to get to learn a little bit more of that middle part or the beginning part if Saul lives, because he's collapsed in the chapter. But if he's okay, information dump for sure. Um, I think that's pretty much all he has to provide. It'll close out some of Robin's story arc. She'll get that closure knowing he's alive, being able to see him. She'll have some remnant of her past, and then ultimately, I think you'll have a lot of information to pass on as well. What do you think?
No, I'm with you. There's a reason why they did the whole Robin cut her hair thing. Now it makes sense. It's so Saul immediately recognizes her the moment he sees her. That's going to be a big moment for the story. Robin and Saul meeting each other. Um, I would be curious to see what, like, after he realized everything was going on was terrible. Who did did he contact anybody? Did he join? Now this is the big one. Did he join the revolutionaries? Because the more and more we see Marines defect, the all roads lead to Dragon at that point.
True.
So I'll be curious about that, especially since Dragon had a very big connection with everything that happened in O'Hara as well. So hey man. And if we could somehow get Saul to get Luffy to finally meet Dragon, because Robin's met Dragon. Hey man, I'm here for it. We just need that Dragon Luffy connection. I'm locked in for that.
Yeah, there's so many routes having that information could go. Like, I'm sure it's probably profitable, intel wise. He's valuable to a lot of fucking people. Like, for people to find out that he was still alive, which I'm sure Dragon knows because Vegapunk knew he took the books with him. Um, I'm sure he's probably an information broker of some regards, and that's how he maintains relations with Elbaf. I think he's probably one of the most important people in Elbaf at the moment, other than Loki. But yeah, that's dope. Saul's alive. We don't really get to see him, but he's alive. He's collapsed. There seems to be some sort of a deeper plot happening on Elbaf, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, that person that had them in that fantasy dream with the fog, he is a I don't want to say a servant of Loki, but he's a follower of Loki. So it's seeming like Loki's going to have some sort, not a crew. I don't think he has an entire unit, but I know we have him. He's confirmed to be a subordinate. And then we have some other people who are kind of mad that he was chained up, some lower level giants. So it seems like he's going to have a little bit more on his side as far as the crew is concerned. And then Luffy, part of his fleet is there. In the chapter, Hajruddin is back. Um, and those giants that were introduced in earlier chapters that Sanji, not Sanji, Nami, and Usopp were hiding from, those are actually crew members on Hajruddin's ship. So those are actually allies that we have. We got some allies on Elbaf to go with the crew. So it's good to see that we're not alone in this foreign land. Uh, their importance, what they're gonna do, is yet to be seen. But hey, they're supposed to be taking up the mantle after Dory and Bragi, so gotta be powerful in their own right. Gotta have a lot of influence and respect. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's good that it's cool that he's back. I mean, it makes sense obviously since they're at Albaf. You know, don't no need to kind of have lingering questions like, okay, we knew Bragi, we knew other dude, I forget his is
Dory?
Dory. We knew they're here. We knew that the Outback was the destination, but they also met Hodgdon. He's part of the fleet. It makes sense that he'd be here as well. So, you know, Oda putting everything together, and it also made me think. Like we've always questioned most people we meet in One Piece. The characters were just like normal humans with the D clan epithet.
Mm-hmm.
Jaguar is the only different one that is a giant with the D clan epithet.
Mm-hmm. That's a
A
good
lot
point.
of us thought he was dead for the majority of the story. Did not think he was going to come back. I for sure didn't think he was going to come back.
Me neither.
And now Oda's like, oh no, there's a reason why there's a giant with the D clan epithet. And now it's time to explore that. Yeah, he's going to tell us a lot about the history, but I think a lot about the D clan too.
I didn't even, you see, you hit that right on the head. I didn't even think of that. And we've seen so many different races throughout the story. We've seen the King and the Lunarians, Jinbei, Hody, Arlong. We've seen Fishmen. We've got Long Leg Tribe, Long Arm Tribe. We've seen all these different types of people, and no one other than humans and Jaguar D Solid Giant have had that D clan epithet. Will we see more races that have the D clan, or is that the extent of it? Um, we're near the end, man. So many questions.
And Oda's still expanding the story somehow with all the Beaver cards and SBSs, still expanding the story. Hey man, I wasn't really locked into Viewer cards and SBSs, but we after we did that video and how much stuff we connected to potential things that's going to happen into the story now with the actual lore. You, One Piece, you got to lock in. You got to read these Viva Cards SBSs. They just tell a picture, a bigger picture of what Oda is trying to make you think about. So interesting chapter. Nothing crazy, but this is set up. This is setting everything up. So I'm locked in.
Yeah, as a setup chapter, I think it was good. It wasn't meant to blow your mind out of the water. It wasn't meant to do anything amazing. Introduce some people, give us some more Loki. We got an introduction to what's going to be, I guess, like one of the major incidents. What's going on with Saul? Why is he collapsed? Uh, I think it was a great chapter this week. It wasn't worth the break, but it was a great chapter.
Oh, fact. The next chapter better be nice because it's not no break, fortunately. No break. So that next chapter, when we see Saul, ooh, and we see whatever Luffy try. Man, Luffy, I do think is dumb, but I never was like to the point where he's done anything Goku Senzu being bad.
Yes,
If he frees Loki, that is Goku Senzu being bad, bro.
it is.
So we'll see how this works out. But anything else?
No, I'm good on that. We appreciate y'all for watching all of our content. If y'all like more original content like this, let us know. It not only helps our algorithm, but it inspires us to want to give y'all more. If y'all are interested in SBS, Viva Card, stuff like that, there are other SBSs that have passed. I'm not sure how tapped a lot of our fan base is into that, but if y'all like to see me cover some of the older SBSs, there's a lot of good information in there. Things like Zoro's parentage, how his village was founded, stuff like that was all covered in the SBS. Kid's background, how he linked up with Killer, all of that stuff has been explained already, and knowledge that's available. So if y'all are interested in seeing that type of stuff, let us know. I'm always willing to cover One Piece. I'm willing to cover other shows too that have lore dumps and information. Just let us know so that we can bring that good content to y'all.
All right, yes, sir. Make sure to like, subscribe to the channel. Appreciate everybody tuning to the podcast every Tuesday, 9 p.m. EST. We are on our road to 10,000 subscribers, of course. And become a member if you haven't already. We will be dropping exclusive content. Obviously, we do shout outs. If you can give us anime recommendations when you become a member. And a new thing we're going to do is if you're a member of the channel, whether it's the Shikai or Bankai member, you'll be able to vote in a weekly poll that kind of formats the organization of the show. Like, what do you want us to do? Read your scriptures first, agenda hour first, main topic first. Just being part of how the show goes. Still all the content, but just a little bit more participation. So with that said, appreciate you, go. You have a good one. Take care. Peace.